Okay, to the left, to the right. That's all there is to it. You can tell all your friends, oh, I know what a 32 heavy axle looks like now. You can see compared to the others it's quite chunky. I'm not sure if this thing might be a bit too long, but the idea is that that will help align everything and just give it'll never ever come to it whereby that would be called to actually provide any strength, but you know, it just makes you sleep easier at night, doesn't it, that sort of thing. And these are the right size for the front of a 32 if you've got a 3/4 inch eye in the spring, which I have. Yeah, that's gone in nicer because it's got that lead in. Yeah, that's alright. I'm going to run into the bench. Tray. Nothing wrong with that, look, perfect. This is where it's all been modified around the middle there to bolt up to these spindles better. That job came out quite well, I think. It's just MIG weld, a bit of lathe work and grinder. Smashing. Okay. And I just went over to my friend's and picked up this flathead. He got it, he wasn't going to use it, and I bought it from him. Ooh dear, oh dear, it doesn't look good, does it? To get onto the split pin holes. Right. I'm looking for a gap down the side and I can't see one. So what I've got to do is take that face back. Just took a skim off there. So that's in and done up and tight. It wasn't easy because access to these is quite difficult. Get the vacuum and try and get the worst of it out of there, and then I'll pull the other head. I'm not holding much hope out for this motor though. I'm not going to do another crusty rebuild. The tappet chest looked alright. There's some sludge and stuff which I imagine was in the bottom of the oil pan, and then when it got turned upside down, you know, that fell out onto this area here. There was a big lump of it down there that I just dug out. quite noisy, this car. The axle's a bit noisy, and there's a big hole in the floor by the pedals. Hello, mate. That looks good, doesn't it? Now the one I had when I was younger, was the Capri model, which is the same thing except it's got the coupe roof. Very nice, very attractive car. Okay, I leant on it then, I think it might have moved. Okay, I need to find a way of getting rid of these piston crowns. This one's got, at least it's got a gap here. So let's see if I can do something with it. So it'll have more clearance there, but it shouldn't foul anyway, because they shouldn't come together any more than that. And on this one I have trimmed off the piece at the back. The HRA Gout event at Prescott. I was in the Roadster and I started suffering with a flat battery, so it would be a good idea to have a good battery on it, and put the electric fan on as well. Could do with some of the proper washers. Well, there you go. There's that looks better. And when the weight of the car's down on it and it looks a bit shorter, it'll be a bit better still. Not looking great though, is it? Look down that ball. When I bought this steering box ages ago, I did have a quick look inside it. And almost, yeah, call it 4.5, right? So what we've got to do, we've got to come back 2 1/4, haven't we? So that's 1, 2 1/4. That's roughly halfway. And you know, then I can just show you what it looks like afterwards, because I'm not going to film it. It's just mundane stuff, isn't it? Okay, I'll come back in a bit. I checked the ball with this snap gauge. Check the correlation to that, and I've just wound on the final cut now, and I hope it's going to come out okay. That looks like a crack. I'm going to wipe it. Let's just see what happens if I wipe it. So if anybody knows of a deeply channeled orange 5-window in the Oshkosh area, Wisconsin, Gavin would be interested in hearing from you. Looks tough, doesn't it? Rough and tough. Tough or rough? Rough and tough. I'm looking up the bore with a light behind it. It's a good way of inspecting a bore. Okay. Okay, you don't really need to see up the bore, but it looks okay. It looks great. And you know, make them fit nice and tidy them up and round. That's better. That's really tight now. That looks a lot better, I think. I like things just right, you know what I mean? What you got to watch for is the hose getting bound up, and that's all the way to the one side, and that's all the way to the other side. Let me get the camera so I can see. There's the crack at the back there. It runs from around about here round to about there. There's the braze repair down the middle. Now I've got a pipe coming out there which I hadn't figured on, so I need to take that into consideration. So, blimey, so it really was very low on oil, wasn't it? It was running with about 2 quarts of oil in it. Now that there is the T where I made that special fitting from a long pipe union, and I intended to do the same here, except I found some sort of a pipe fitting there which, wrapping in that stuff,
Hot.
yeah. Hotsville man. Hello, I'm in Jeff's Zephyr. What year is it, Jeff?
55.
55 Zephyr, 6-cylinder. It's a nice E-Type just rolled in, look. Look at his number plate. How nice is that? U1. Hopefully, what I can do, I can bolt that torque tube on. I won't put the drive shaft in for now because I need to check that everything's okay. So I'm going to aim for a thou interference and go for a freeze fit on this one. Taken a long time to go on a very fine beat. I don't want to, you know, push it away or pull it out the chuck or anything like that. Here we are, look, 2 axle stands. I want to find the other one of these because it's a little bit better than this one, but I don't know, I'll put it somewhere. So the axle could go forward a little bit. So if I shove this through there, onto the flange there, and then down there. I find inches are better for this sort of thing. That's about 54 7/8. So I'm going to cut 5/8 or 16mm out of that tube, which is a little bit more than I thought initially, but 256. Because it might be that millimetres are easier than doing the fractions on this job. So that's 46 and 11/16. That one. The reason I'm doing this is because this is for a 10 spline. That diff is a 6 spline. I'll go and do some sums and I'll be back in a bit. But in the bottom of there, that surface is a scroll. As you wind this one way or the other, the scroll takes these in or out. What appears to have happened is that the thread has worn at this lower edge there. So I'm going to let all that cool down then, and hopefully, with a bit of luck, I suppose it would have been a good idea to check. That should be the right length, shouldn't it? Shall I just not measure it and then I'll never know that it's wrong? That's just on the verge of trying to chatter, that is. Okay, I'll bring it back when, you know, at the next stage. I've been working on this little workmate that I got for nothing at the side of the road. I've freed everything off at the top. These all go backwards and forwards nicely. There and there. I'm just sort of taking stock of that I've got all the parts. Oh, that's not too bad actually. Okay, this is the difficult thing now, isn't it? And this is able to rotate. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to just run a couple of heavy beads around there like that, just to get some weld on it. Okay, that's the close side then, and that's the furthest away, and that is about just about 1/4 of an inch or 6mm. And then these will just snug it down. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. That's about the best compromise I can make at the moment. Without being able to put this in a lathe and skim it, I can't go any further. Hey, it came then. Not all the way out, but it come part way out. How about that then? Little bit of perseverance and concrete rash. There you go, there's the bearing, the light. So there's another inlet. There's another inlet. So I've cleaned up those bowls. They were just completely crudded up. And I've cleaned up the inlet tracts. Okay, I think that'll do. That's in line with that now. I've taken all the valves that I had, and I've taken all the guides that I had, and I've sorted through some used parts that were left over from other engines, and I've put together a set of valves. And what I've just done, I've ground all of the valves in. They're to do them so that if the boat that they was being carried on got sunk, they would last a certain amount of time. And the brake pipes now, I'd made these brake pipes years ago, but to suit different radius rods than this. So I've sort of reshaped this area here. I've reshaped that area there to bring them in. I pop the valve out, reach underneath, push the lifter out, grab it, put the lifter there, put the valve back in. Things will run without anything, so I think that will help a little bit with the torsional stiffness. Here is the left-hand shock setup. The shock is clean, painted, mounted, new bolts, new nuts. I've got some stiffening plates to put inside. They're hanging up in the roof over there. You're supposed to have a puddle and dip the rod into it. There we go. But I think I ought to at least apply something to it. So I've bought this 5th wheel grease. Unfortunately, to dismantle the spring, I need to cut these. I need to cut this actually. This is how I've been doing the mains. Okay, check all the axle stands. They all look okay. Lower the axle. There we go. Everything's in place. You know, just an idea. There we go, look. Look at that, that's pretty neat, isn't it, really? Like a Christmas decoration. That's cool. I like that. There's got to be old timers that know a lot more tricks about this. This is the first time I've done this. But on the strength of, I've just done 3 and this is the 4th. You know, I feel like I've been able to do it okay. Beach then, you grab that end. Since there's 2 of us, it's quite heavy. Just move that. Okay, it's gently down towards you a bit. That's it. Lift. That's it. There you go. See if you can turn it. Turns, doesn't it? Okay. Let's put the bearings on then as a test. Right, that's in there with a flat at the top. There's a flat on this bolt. Swing that up. Put that in. There we go. Lovely. That was easy. Right. So this should just go on there now. Haven't got a key in it. There we go, lovely. Okay. Now that one of them last 2 might feel a little bit tight.
On this one. I'll see you later.
Hang on, this is us getting all these in right. There's going to be 0. Right, I'll work from this side then. You're going to be walking across the camera. No dot inlet. I'm kind of saying things out loud because I'm, you know, reminding myself more than anything. Complicate it by trying to film. But anyway, that's the setup. It's probably far from the ideal setup, but that's the setup that I used. That's just a wheel bearing in there. Right, ready? Let's see if that worked. Haha, look at that, perfect. 0 mark, look, 0 mark. Another step closer. I think that's looking good. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with the wheels yet, but you know, with regards to paint. Just lift the cam up to the first, you know, past the sort of first set of bearings, and put that plug in there, that little plug there, special plug. So for me, I wanted to just say thank you very much indeed to everybody who's subscribed to my Mart's Garage channel on YouTube, because I've just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a milestone for me. I'm very, very pleased to say that, you know, we've achieved that. Everybody that's subscribed has contributed towards that. So thank you very much indeed to everybody that's subscribed. And you know, if you haven't, it doesn't matter, as long as you're enjoying the videos. I'm just trying to preach the, you know, Ford flatheads and hot rods and tinkering in the garage, that sort of thing. So thanks very much.